happen. How difficult is that, Agro? I know Weekend League is a completely different kettle of fish to playing in a tournament like this, to playing in long qualifiers and events. But to be that consistent and to hit those 30-0s out the park week after week, that's got to be tough.
It's really tough also because you play different kind of play styles and you need to be able to adapt or play very balanced and have a...
And what a start to this game. Speaking of Adriman and saying how good he is, killing Mbappe to get the score sheet underway. 3 minutes into the time, we said how good this man is. And you often speak about muscle memory in FIFA. You heard it there for BMG Lefty. Yesterday, he may have just become a champion. He may have just bagged himself some serious prize earnings. But he said, you know what? I might have tonight off, but I'll be back on Weekend League tomorrow. I'll be straight back to the grind. Is there going to be an instant reply from Prinsipe? There is. I mean, we thought the first game was an absolute thriller. Strap yourselves in for this one. Because Cristiano Ronaldo, 3 minutes later, ensures that he gets this game all square. Chance for R9 if he can try and find a way through there. But, you know, looking at both of these years, in FIFA 20, Prinsipe, it was a really quiet FIFA 19 from him. FIFA 20, he made one really good run in the competitive year. And if you can remember, for Champions Cup, Paris, I believe, was one of our sort of last LAN events. He made an unbelievable run there. It was a top 4 finish for him. That booked himself some great Global Series points. And on top of that, 15th, he finished in the leaderboard, Prinsipe. It's like you can hear me talking about him straight down the other end. He's back in front, 2-1 in the first leg. It's a fantastic start. This Lozano of all people, that's one thing that Prinsipe has always done differently in competitive FIFA. If you can think back to the days of FIFA 17 when he was rocking the likes of Manolas, Roger Nainggolan, there's unfamiliar names that you would not expect to see in a handful of pros teams. That is what Prinsipe is about. He plays his own meta. He creates his own meta. And now he leads by 2-1 after 17 minutes in this tie. Strap yourselves in, ladies and gentlemen, because we've got 2 legs of this. What a start to this tie. As I said, this is the PlayStation 4 qualifier #1 here in Europe. Some serious money up for grabs. By the end of play today, someone will be walking away with just the cheeky $15,000 alongside 1,500 Global Series ranking points. You don't know what points do. Of course, they earn you prizes, but more importantly, they get you to the playoffs or to the FIFA E-World Cup Grand Finals. Chance for Prinsipe now to find his way back into the tie. And I believe August Rosemeyer is going to be just subbing out for the moment, and in he comes again. Richard Buckley. Rich, we're back for another game, and 3 goals in 25 minutes. We're on for another thriller here.
Well. Fancy seeing us two commentating, Brandon. Again, 2 games in a row. But yeah, unbelievable game thus far. I mean, the big thing coming into this match was the quality of Adriman. I've heard a lot about him. I know that he's an unbelievable FIFA player. But can he perform in the big LAN events? And I think the answer is yes.
I mean, as we said, you know, we were lucky enough to commentate on a handful of those Foothead Cups, Richard, when the season was going through a little bit of a rechange. We saw both of these 2 players actually feature in those tournaments. It was when they played in different times, actually. They didn't actually match up in the same tournament. Otherwise, I would have said we could have actually seen a previous matchup between these 2, but they've never played before. If you can see behind Ducks, Adriman, Richard, there's a couple of familiar faces there, and probably one of the biggest names in Spanish FIFA esports history. Alongside, I'm sure, Afonso Ramos. If you're a hardcore FIFA esports fan, that man deserves a mention. And here's Gravison. I'm sure he'll be adding his knowledge to Adriman.
one big thing that I would like to point out, we saw Prinsipe now using Jimenez, the rule breaker, at centre-back. Cosmo as well, Italian player, used Jimenez at centre-back. We start to see these tendencies from different regions using similar players.
Here is Adriman now. Cristiano Ronaldo scored down the other end for team makers. Prinsipe, Humming Song, happy to interchange.
It's got to be a pen.
To Paul Pogba. No, the referee says we're going to play on. We'll talk about Principe's team in just a second, Richard, because, as I was alluding to, FIFA 17, he sort of played his own team. He didn't follow the crowd. He didn't play with all the players that everybody typically uses. And with these current restrictions we've got in front of us, Rich, is that you sort of can have your own creativity in teams.
Yeah, absolutely. Manolas and Nainggolan being the two big players. You've seen Lozano, you've seen Jimenez starting here. Ronaldo looking to get back in the game. Whew.
It's another great save from Prinsipe. As we touched upon, Cosimo out of the tournament, the only Italian left. His makers, Prinsipe, half a drag back. Adriman well defended by Juan Cuadrado. Had to time that tackle well, and that's exactly what makers Prinsipe was able to do. Mbappe back to Ronaldo. A couple of step overs. Little La Croqueta. It's perfect from Adriman.
Fantastic goal just before half-time as well. The perfect time to score for Adriman. It's a player that we don't tend to see used too often, record breaker Mbappe. But that big shooting boost is so clutch in the final third. You see Prinsipe, big puff of the cheeks. He knows that potentially his, I don't want to say typical defensive playstyle, but the way that he likes playing FIFA, sort of dominating possession, defending immaculately, might not work here because Adriman looks so dangerous in the attacking third.
And that's the first half of 4 completed in this tie. And I mean, there'll be people at home watching now. It'll be your first time watching competitive FIFA or FIFA esports. You'll be thinking, you know, what is it that makes these players so good? It's moments like that where you have to be creative. You have to think outside the box. You saw the La Croqueta into the half-hearted chance there from Mbappe. It's moments like that that separate you from the average player to the elite. And we're back underway for the second half here. 2-2, 4 goals already between these two. In your loser bracket quarterfinal, winner plays against Oli Bolly. Can it be an all-makers matchup? Only time will tell. Early start potentially here, Lozano. Not one of those red picks that players are, of course, featuring in their own teams. If you're lucky from the weekend league on rewards day, it's a pack a decent one. Why not add it into your team?
I mean, look, it says coins, doesn't it, at the end of the day as well. If you can, you see he's got Hullet in the team. That's quite a big purchase. It's a premium purchase, shall I say. You might have to use a red pick here or there to get that cost of the team down. They are using their own squads, these players.
I mean, especially if you're a player like Oli Bolly, we just saw, Rich. He's got a 9 in the team. That man's got a hefty price tag on him. And what, he had 3 red picks around him?
Yeah, Bruno, Rashford and Gomez. Can we just talk about that look as well for a second? I know you've had some decent red look this year as well. We both got Gomez. What a pass.
What a pass. This could be cheeky chip, cheeky ball roll. And that's another prime example of those moments where you have to think outside the box. You have to be unpredictable. And Duck's game in Adriman, he's just in a groove at the moment. He's in a groove on FIFA 21, whether it's on Weekend League or whether it's in qualifiers. He's found his rhythm. And the Spaniard, another new Spaniard we must add, popping out and saying hello to the competitive FIFA, saying, I'm here for the FIFA 21 season and I want to accumulate as many Global Series points as possible here.
If you're not scoring from dribbling inside the box with the bridge touch, step overs, that's the other way. That's a real successful way of scoring goals in FIFA 21 right there. The long through ball, almost hopeful through ball into the final third. You saw a perfect example of it there. What a 20-30 yard pass into Mbappe. And then from there, it's all about the composure of finishing.
See Prinsipe just sort of playing a really high line. And so Mbappe was able just to pick him off. Looking for another one. It's that through ball again. It's still Adriman in possession. Mbappe, drop of the shoulder, a couple of step overs. Will be well read by Rafael Varane. Back to Andre ter Stegen.
Oh!
You've got
for a second.
You've got to be careful there.
Heart in mouth right there for Prinsipe. You're seeing a couple of changes that we're seeing from Adriman right now in that 4-4-2. Good game so far, Brandon. 3-2, maybe a little bit more open than I thought we might actually see.
Oh, definitely. I think after we saw Cosimo against Oli Bolli, it was a 1-goal game in the first leg. Here it's a definite change of scenery in this one. Certainly more end-to-end. All the substitutions are coming on now. Remember, with those restrictions, it was Gerard Deulofeu, Richard, yesterday, who was a hero at times for a couple of plays. He makes his way onto the field again.
Yeah, Gerard Deulofeu, Rashford and also Renato Sanchez, 3 real clutch players.
Prinsipe's trying to push that ball into the feet of someone in the box. It's Mbappe that's there. Still Ruud Gullit. Gets dispossessed by a fresh
Look at
Renato Sanchez straight off the bench. One of those players that's sort of gone under the radar a little bit this year.
It's just so meta. He offers you pretty much everything. Imagine Ruud Gullit, but like 6 inches shorter. That's Renato Sanchez's inform.
I'm going to say, look at them next to each other in CDMs. They're like 2 brothers. Similar hairstyles.
Play very similar as well.
Fortunately not the pass he would have wanted though. Renato Sanchez, the lost little man. Long ball forward. I'll tell you what, these long through balls, they're very dangerous, aren't they? Especially when you have got pacey options such as Marcus Rashford, Ruud Gullit, Gerard Deulofeu. Is he going to be the hero again? It's back to Deulofeu. A deflected shot from the Spaniard goes out for a corner, and into the pause menu will go again. Currently a 4-4-2 for Dux Gaming's Adriman, but he's not happy with something.
Yeah, Marcus Rashford being introduced as a left striker here, and it looks like it's going to be Mbappe brought onto the right side of midfield. For me there, I think Prinsipe is just, he's got a little bit confused on what he wants to do. He had a chance to shoot, he's then tried playing the extra pass, as you say. He's tried playing that one more to get the 100% chance, and as it's come to Gerard Deulofeu, the sort of pace of the attack's been drained a little bit. I think that's why he couldn't get a shot away at target.
17 minutes left of our first game here. 3-2. That's Adriman leads, currently in the tie. Are we going to be going into that second leg all square? Prinsipe trying to get that ball into Mbappe. Still half a chance. Ronaldo just snatched at the chance. He goes up for a goal kick in the end, and Edwin van der Sar get us back underway.
Out of all of the players you expect to clutch up for Prinsipe right there, you give the ball to Cristiano Ronaldo, you're putting your house on him to score.
I mean, you at least think to hit the target, Richard. He put it wide. Here's Mbappe. Doing really well. Adriman. Marcus Rashford! And that's a 2-goal cushion. It's been reinstated into this game for the first time in the series. And there's just something different about Adriman this year. We saw him a couple of times on FIFA 20, but he never looked this good.
And even the 85 Marcus Rashford off of the bench is a real dangerous player to be faced up against. Great finish from Rashford. Scoop turn onto his left foot, right foot. It does not matter for Marcus Rashford.
What a ball. What a ball. I just couldn't angle his run. You can see the frustration from Prinsipe, which you fully understand. It's a great through ball, but Cristiano Ronaldo just didn't really arc his run that the Makers FIFA Pro was after. 6 minutes left. And we'll take a breather alongside both of these two players. 6 goals in one leg of FIFA. I mean, we saw plenty of goals yesterday over on the Xbox, but certainly even more shared over here on PlayStation. Cristiano Ronaldo,
chance.
Lovely little accelerated fake shot. There's your half drag back. Well read by Ferland Mendy. Still, the attack isn't fully dealt with. It will be Valverde. Ronaldo into Mbappe. Important goal for Prinsipe, that.
And you just see him there, just saying to himself, calm down, there's still a long way to go in this game, but a double step over onto Mbappe's left foot, who is always going to be finishing on the angle. Big goal in the complexion of this series.
To be honest, I don't think we'll see much more, Richard, in leg number 1. 7 goals. It's going to be 4-3 to Dux Gaming's Adriman. Added time of just a minute, no real time at all. Could be a little bit of time for Prinsipe to get that ball forward, but he's got to move it quick. We've already played a minute. Referee will let it play on. He's gone back inside, which is kind of risky, referee. Ooh. That should do us for leg one, innit? Will do us for leg one there between these two, Richard. 7 goals between the two, and at the moment, just a goal to separate them. What a game.